and welcome to the first episode of Rebirth of Souls. Everybody go ahead and give me a shout out.
Ah!
You didn't even give us a countdown.
I know. I didn't do it on purpose, so y'all wouldn't go, penis.
We did agree not to
never.
do that.
You wanted to. I see how this is.
Yeah, see?
I talk about disgusting medical procedures. It's a totally different shtick.
Guys, welcome to the first episode of Rebirth of Souls. We are starting a new RPG. I will be running it. I will be the GM, Gonzo. Of course, I will be dispensing the trauma out as much as possible. I mean, the story out as much as possible to everyone. The players have...
First time.
Do what?
No, you had it right the first time.
Oh, okay. I had it right the first time. The players do not know very much about the world, and then there's a reason behind this because there's going to be some shocking things coming up. And so, does anybody remember the prequel of The Orphanage? Does anybody want to recap The Orphanage?
I remember that Zazik got their heart broken by their mother figure leaving them on their 18th birthday. Because that's not trauma-inducing at all.
Not at all.
All right, so the basis of this story is all of these characters have lived in an orphanage since babyhood, pretty much, is the best way to say it. And they all kind of grew up together within a few years of each other. And then on Zazik's 18th birthday, Amida, which was the orphanage caretaker, left a note for everybody saying that she had to leave, and the magic she used to hold the orphanage together was breaking down, and they had to leave, but left them stuff to survive. And so they were pretty much, I wouldn't say kicked out, but essentially kicked out of the orphanage around Zazik's 18th birthday. They have been traveling around this area that they are in for roughly about a year and doing small little good deeds, chasing off wolves, doing stuff like that, until they find a person that requests their presence at the town of Triel to help them take care of a cult that is north of them that is planning to sacrifice people to bring a demon out into the world. If anybody wants to know, it's Triel. And our team is going to be, our adventurers are going to be heading there to help out. But before we do that, we need to go ahead and describe what our characters look like, because this will be a mind's eye theater. There will be no maps. Dice rolling will be seen on the side. And there's certain GM things that are going to be happening. For example, if they do creative role playing when they attack or research or do anything that needs to require a roll, they can gain bonuses to their dice rolls or bonuses to things that are going on. The more they make us laugh, the more they make us cheer, the bigger the bonuses. So, of course, Big Jim Slade, why don't you tell us your character, their name, who they are, what class, give us a breakdown of everything.
Well, Rendaya is while growing up in the orphanage, hated being inside all the time. So he spent most of his time out in the woods and ended up like watching animals and tracking them and learning about them, and sort of has developed himself into a nice little ranger. And he has to act the part. So when you see him, he's always dressed in some sort of green, and he has these cool green deer hide leathers that he stuck a lot of leaves and things onto to make it look cool. But he does have a really, really ornate bow that he carved himself, and he's very, very proud of it. And that was how he would spend most of his childhood, other than learning how to set snares and traps and using that to maybe setting traps for Zazik to all of a sudden like get a big clump of moss flung at their face. Things like that.
All right. Nerd, would you like to describe your character?
I'm playing Brild, a Aasimar cleric. She is on the smaller side, very petite, red hair, blue eyes, hair normally braided down the back.
little bit of a loner, but also likes to play pranks on her fellow orphans. Especially using prestidigitation or thaumaturgy just to mess with people.
Okay. And Captain Mizzy?
Hi. So Zazik is the largest of the orphans, being a Goliath. So got blue skin, white hair, green eyes. Very patient with the pranks and lessons that Ron. Hold on. How'd you say your name?
Randaya.
Randaya.
You've only known me for like your entire life. It's fine.
Look, words are hard.
I
I
know.
love words and I love poetry, and I spend every waking moment I can in a book if I can. Up until, I was forced to go outside and train. But then I found that it was an art form in and of itself, and that's how I ended up being a monk. And I can use my fist as poetry.
And V, would you like to talk about your
Yeah.
character?
Fern would prefer that nobody perceives them. So they spend a lot of time in dark corners watching everything in all black with the hood up. But when the hood comes off, you do see that they do have hair, but they keep it cut very, very short. So it's hard to tell if it's black or dark brown or what color it is because it's always very, very close cropped. And they are a dirty little rogue.
Okay. You all were giving starting equipment. I know that Rendai would said that they were wearing leathers. Brill, what are you wearing? And what's your weapon of choice?
Weapon of choice is a mace and shield.
Okay. And your armor?
A chain shirt.
Okay. And Zazik?
Got like a black crop type with some red stripes on it. Just simple garb. Fists obviously are my main thing, but I do have daggers in case of emergency and need to stab things.
Okay. And Fern?
I wear generally all black leathers with a hood that I can kind of put over my face so you can't see my face. And I generally use a short bow, though I do have a sword and some daggers if it gets into melee.
Okay. Like I said, for the most part, y'all have been walking around this wooded area, and you've helped out a few little farms. There's wolves that are bothering us, stealing chickens. Small little problems that have happened. Nothing big, but you've heard that your first big adventure in the town of Brill, they said that they have a girl that came to their town, very very starved, very dirty, said that there is a cult living in a tower just north of them that they believe that they're trying to release a demon. And so they have put out word to someone come and help, and y'all being the brave adventurers decided to do this. And this is where we will start. You are at the town of Trill, just coming into it. It is very farm based. There is a lot of grain fields all over the place. There's a few grain mills, quite a few town. You're roughly going to estimate that maybe there's like 60 to maybe 70 people, and it's primarily human in population. You've noticed that most of the places around you are primarily human. Mostly. So, and you're walking up. You are at the very edge of the town. There are quite a few people milling around. It is about midday. And people are starting to pack, and you start walking in, and of course you get these eyeballs on you as you're walking in because they're not used to seeing people, especially three littles and a giant.
It's not every day that you see a giant with a halfling on one shoulder, a halfling on another shoulder, and another one on their back not being perceived. So
Yeah. So pretty
I'm not
much.
a halfling, I'm an Azamite. Thank you.
is that why you're an emo kid?
Yeah.
You're small. I'm sorry.
Still bigger than us.
You start walking into town and you see this pretty portly human, bald, actually not wearing like farmer clothes. They're actually kind of pretty decent looking and clean. Start walking up to you, and he's got that waddle. He's got that big, large beer belly type thing, and he's just kind of waddling up to you and everything. And he gentlemanly, and he's like waving at you as you're walking up. And he's like, he kind of eyeballing you, is like looking around. He's like, kind of got that inquisitive look on his face.
I'm just locking eyes with him.
He kind of walks up and goes, hi, I'm Joseph, the mayor of this town. Can I help y'all? And he kind of eyeballs each one of you looking at Jesus, and then kind of like peeks around and looks over.
I'm going to glance off to the side that Runge is at.
He's like, can I help y'all?
Shrug my shoulder a little bit.
Whoa, hey, I'm trying to sit here. Yeah, we're trying to, we're just coming into town because we heard that there was somebody who needed some help.
Oh, you're the adventurers that got the message and are going to help us with this cult issue. All right. I need everybody to make a perception roll for me really quick.
I'll take that.
No kidding.
I'll take that.
Pretty much everybody that was 15 and higher. You're looking around and you see off by this building around the corner, you see this little bitty face of this little girl just kind of peeking around from like the left side of her face. Really short, red hair, really curly, and you can just, she like peeks around the corner of the building and then like comes back out like this and peeks out a little and comes back as, you know, you kind of like see her. And he's like,
oh, okay.
He's like, well, let me get you in and we'll go to my house and we'll talk about this because what I understand, whatever's going to happen is going to happen tomorrow night. And y'all got about a day's drive, either ride, and he kind of eyeballs you, Zazik, ride to this tower. Walk? Pack mule?
Fit. What kind of accommodations are we talking here?
Oh, well, one, we can provide you with food and lodging, and he's walking with y'all. As, you know, he's walking up towards this, you know, to the area, and you pass the house where this girl is there, and she kind of like goes to the behind this barrel, and she does the same thing, and is kind of peeking around.
Hi.
She kind of runs out really quickly.
I'm going to flip my hood back, and I didn't mention this. Curly, almost kinky curly red hair. It's like, hi.
She runs out, and she's like jumping up and down at you, and she's like, are you a kid? Can you play? Can you play with me? Are you a kid? Can you play with me?
I'm not a kid, but maybe we can play later. I have to go.
You're cutting
What's
out
your
a little
name?
bit. You're cutting out a little bit.
Again, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a kid, but maybe we can play later. I got to go with the mayor. What's your name?
My name's Sarah. That's my dad.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're all going to the same place.
Cool. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Is that a giant with you?
Really? Well, part giant.
She's tall. She walks up and grabs your hand, Zazik, as you're walking. Like this. And she's kind of like really straining to hold on to your finger. You could guess that she's probably maybe 6 or 7. And
I'm gonna pull her up. Do you want to ride?
as you pull her up, you notice that on the right side of her face, she's got this big birthmark that goes down the right side of her face, a red birthmark that goes down and covers like about 50% of her face. as her hair finally comes up as you do it, and she like, ah! You pick her up, and her dad looks
She's
back.
safe. She's in my hand.
She like, Joseph looks back and goes, "You okay?"
I'm
Sarah's like,
harmless.
"That's my daughter you have."
I don't intend on hurting her. I just asked her if she wanted a rose.
Sarah, you okay? And she kind of like grabs hold of your thumbs like it's reins. It's like, got this look on her face like, yay!
I'm gonna tap Sarah on the shoulder, and then I'm gonna cast prestidigitation to create a top, because I can create a trinket.
Mm-hmm.
And I will hand it like a brightly colored top, and I will hand it to her.
She like starts playing with it. And she's like sits in your hand and holds your thumb like a, like a rein, and does like this as you're moving around and holds the top. And she's like bouncing around and everything.
I undo the bottom of my carrier on the back, and now that there's multiple people riding, I walk alongside.
Well, I hopped down anyway, so I haven't climbed back up.
Yeah, no, I walk alongside. Like, this is weird. I'm gonna.
I'm enjoying the vantage point, so I'm not moving.
She turns around, and as you're walking, she looks at you as you drop down, Fern, and goes, "Oh, are you a kid?"
If you want me to be, I can be a kid for a little while.
Can we play a game when we get to the house?
I'm not good at games.
Okay.
Pretty good at hide and seek.
I like games.
Oh, but are you an angel?
Exactly.
Oh! She does. You hear her screech, and she kind of like bounces in your hand. She turns over to Zazik and goes, "Zazik, I heard you're a giant. Are you a giant?"
I'm large like one.
Are you strong?
I think so.
Woo! She like whoops and holler again. Joseph is kind of eyeballing her and just looking her up, kind of a little bit embarrassed type thing, the fatherly type stuff. But eventually you get to the house. And
we wouldn't know about fatherly stuff because we didn't have one.
True.
maybe you'll learn about that later.
I have problems with attachment, okay?
He walks you into it, and it's actually a pretty decent sized house. It's actually 4 rooms instead of just one big room. He guides you in, and he kind of looks at you, Zazik, and goes, "I don't know if I have a chair that'll fit you. Please, no disrespect. But I don't know if you could sit in one of these type things."
I mean, I'm fine with just sitting on the floor.
And
I'm pretty used to not fitting in certain areas.
you do that, and all of a sudden, like as soon as you start sitting down, Sarah like bounces off and just runs off real quick from y'all. Joseph comes over and brings over like plates of food. It's like breads and cheese and some dried fish. Nothing too spectacular, and some water and a little bit of ale. And he sits down at the table, has enough spot for all of you. The place inside is not dirty. It's actually pretty decently clean. And he is like, "Here, eat. You must be parched and everything. I mean, I'm sure you've traveled quite a far distance." But,
yeah, we very, very far.
But,
And water.
okay, he's like, "I can't offer you a lot of money. I apologize. We're just a farming town. I can offer you, of course, room and board for tonight, and 10 gold. If you can take care of this. After you've eaten and freshened up, I can take you to Heather. She was the one that escaped the cult. And she may be able to give you a little bit more details than I can." And as soon as he says that, you see Sarah come back in, and she's got like some dolls, She's got like some string, and she's like bouncing around, and she goes to Zazik and goes, and she holds up this beaded string. And she's like, your hand. I got a bracelet. Friends. Dun, 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 dun. I want to be friends. Friends.
I'm going to cautiously hold out my hand.
Okay. She ties this little, it's a couple of shell beads and just some small little leather and puts it around your wrist.
It's large enough for my wrist?
Oh yeah, she's
My thumb.
yeah, she's like it's like a big hoop. And then she comes up actually to each one of you, and they're just a simple little shell bracelet. That she, you can tell that she's strung along the shells. And she like goes to each one of you. Fern, she goes, "Want a bracelet? Want to be friends? Be friends."
How much noise does it make when you shake it?
She does like this, and it's like very little to none.
Okay, and I'll just kind of like very carefully take it from her.
Okay.
Stick it in a pocket.
Okay. Brill, she comes up to you and goes, "I got this. Will you wear
Sure.
Cool, we're
I'll
friends."
put my wrist out.
She ties it.
Friends. Yeah, cool.
And can I put this on you?
Well, sure, but I can't really wear it on my wrist because I have to my bow, see, and it get in the way. But and he takes sort of the quiver strap that he has, so you can tie it right around here.
Okay. She goes and ties it up and everything. And she's like, "We're all friends." She starts doing a little, like a little friends dance. She's like, "We're friends. I go, and Joseph's like, "I'm sorry for my daughter. We don't have a lot of kids in the village." And so she gets super excited around new people. She's only 7, so, she's very hyper.
I mean, we were all that age once. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. He's like, "What questions do you have before I take you to Sarah?"
Sarah's right here.
Excuse me, Heather. Sorry.
So like, what exactly are these cultists doing to people?
From what we can gather
Just
from
kidnapping
Heather is no. They're recruiting people to summon a demon. From what we can tell, at the very top of this tower, there's like this ritual room, and they plan on sacrificing a bunch of people to resurrect this demon out of this giant orb.
Yeah, that doesn't sound cool at all. And do we know about how many of them there are?
Last Heather told us there was probably about roughly 10 people plus the high priest. When you're done eating, we can go and talk to her and see what can be done.
I offer Brill a hand to help with the counting.
I'm going to pull out a little piece of parchment and a quill really quick and then scribble down a poem and give it to Sarah.
She's like, "I can't read." What does it say?
Lonely firefly joins a dancing stream of light, companions at last.
Oh, she like, you can see her little face just kind of lights up and twinkly in her eye, and she's like, "I got a friend. Yay." She like hugs your leg, basically your calf. And kind of like just like puts her arm around your calf and like this type thing for the time being while y'all are talking. And she like holds on to it.
Cozy.
Yes. I have friends. Firefly friends. Firefly. And she starts now running around the room, kind of flapping her hands around type thing.
I'm used to little singing on me. It's fine.
If you have no other questions of Joseph, he can take you to Heather.
I will look at Joseph. How long have they been there?
We know for at least probably about a month. Supposedly, from what Heather has told us, is tomorrow night is the night of the ritual where they release the demon.
Did you know which demon?
They just called him Lord.
Mm.
How long has the tower been there? Is that like they just built it last month?
No, the tower's been there. At one point, it belonged to a nobleman that ruled over this town, and for quite a while it's been vacant, and it was that spooky towers in the woods that nobody went around.
I love those.
Yes.
Oh boy. And he takes out it's a small dagger. It's not even like a weapon dagger. It's utility. And just spears some food and starts eating it off the knife.
Okay. He's like, as soon as you're ready, just please let me know. Do you have any other questions? I see that you're pretty well armed, except for kind of looks at Zazik.
Oh no, she's got great arms. They're very big arms.
Does Rendaya die from the food, or does it seem safe to eat?
It seems safe to eat. Yeah. No
Okay.
issues.
As long as Rendaya didn't die, like he's good for testing that shit.
Yeah, then we'll all start eating. It's cool.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, he actually knows that he sees that y'all kind of scarfing this down a bit, and he goes grab some more bread and ale and water and such until y'all seem like you're sated.
They never let us have ale in there. Yes, some ale. That'd be great.
I always think we're too young to have ale.
I've never had ale before.
Oh, then we should drink and have a toast, but carefully, if you've never drank this before.
Oh, millions of times.
He gets small cups. Yeah, he looks over at Brill, and Brill's like, brings over just small little cups and is like, so what do we toast to? And all of a sudden you hear Sarah go, Firefly friends! Firefly friends?
Firefly friends.
Firefly friends.
Firefly friends. Got it.
To a safe journey, and you come back quickly.
Slug.
It's very weak ale. I mean, you can it tastes like ale. But it's very weak.
You're not getting drunk on this.
No.
I give my to Rendaya.
Still drinking my water.
Okay.
The percentage of this is really
kind of grimaces. Goes, no.
It's probably like a 2 point something.
yes.
Minnesota beer. I'm not wrong though.
You're not.
You're not wrong.
You have your sip, and he's like, let's go meet Heather. Sarah, you can't go. And she's like, I know. But we're still friends, right?
It's cold, you can't go.
But we're still friends, right?
And Siri too.
I know. Damn it, Siri.
It's like the third time that's happened to somebody this week.
I'm gonna give Sarah a little head pat. Yeah, we're friends.
Oh, sweet.
And Guy's gonna look around. He's gonna reach into the little pouch he has, and he just takes out this little, probably like a mouse or rabbit skull, because he tends to collect these things from the woods. And goes, "Here, you can have this." And that's how I show friendship.
What is it?
It's a skull
A giant rat?
of a giant dragon-eating rat.
You see her eyes get really big.
I use prestidigitation to make it look like it gives a little puff of fire.
She's like, oh, awesome.
I know.
She's like, I love y'all. Y'all are so fun. And she leans over and grabs and hugs Fern really quickly. You'll be okay.
Okay. Thank you, small child.
As you walk out, she kind of hugs each one of you really quickly. Hurry, you come back so we can play more games. Kill whatever's out there, take it over, and then come back and play games. Deal?
Yeah.
Joseph leads you out of the street. It is getting kind of late afternoonish, and takes you to a small. It's very much like a hut, a straw type hut, one room, wooden door on the front. There is smoke coming out of the stack, but it's standard little small thing. He knocks on the door, and you hear this very frail female voice going, who is it? Joseph's like, it's Joseph. I have some friends that would like to talk to you about where you're at. And she's like, who are they?
Is there like a window or anything that I could peek through?
No.
Okay.
There's a chimney.
You can look down at the no. Why is it smoky in here? Why do my eyes burn? He's like, I've brought people. They are not from the tower. They're here to stop the people in the tower. They have questions for you, and I'm sure you would like to tell them what's going on there. She's like, are you sure? He's like, yes, Heather, I'm sure. And you hear like the door kind of unlatch, and it opened up, and it's opened up quite slowly of everybody, as you see it. And eventually you see a woman, probably maybe 40s, but you can tell that she's aged quite a bit. That, she's seen some rough times, and very frail and thin looking. Joseph's like, Heather, are you eating? And she's like, yes, I'm eating. Thank you. I'm just so tired and so wore out. And he's like, well, why don't you come out and we can talk? Because as you can see, he kind of points over to Zazik. He's not going to fit. And she's here to help you.
Squat down on the ground.
You kind of squat. She comes out and she's very, very shy, very cautious, and like standing at the door. She's got decent clothes on, but you can tell that they're kind of like hanging on her, and she's gotten very loose. Her skin, she's very, very, very frail looking. She's like, are you going to go kill these people? She looks over at y'all.
End of the plan.
Yeah, bonk some heads.
Well, you've got a pretty big tower you have to go into. It's 5 floors high.
And I'm 8 feet tall with log legs.
You might have to duck in a couple of places.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, I can. As she kind of eyeballs you. Yeah, I can see that. Are you able to make it? Because it's tomorrow night when the sacrifice is going to happen. The high priest is about to kill probably 10 people with this orb to raise this demon, and they're all willing to do it. I barely got out of there. I ran, left when I could, and I was chased by these winged demons, and I got away, but they're doing some pretty bad things there.
How long did it take you to run?
Over a day. I had to
Do
follow.
an inside check on this story as she's saying it.
Go for it.
And are you sure they didn't just let you go?
It's reasonable.
No, because these wings demons, and she shows on her back that she's got like claw marks from this demon. Zazik, you do not see any insecurity, any deception in this at all.
I'm gonna give Rendaya a knowing look.
She's like, tomorrow night they're supposed to all gather, and the high priest is supposed to bring out the demon orb. And she kind of like, you can see she kind of shudders when she says that. You can feel like a goosebump looking over her body. And she kind of makes a motion like this big with her hands. He's going to use this to summon and sacrifice all these people to bring out the Lord. He called him the Lord of Demons.
Sounds like we
That
have an
doesn't
orb to go
sound-
smash.
Sounds like it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be
And if
careful.
If it
How
took
many-
you all of a day to get there, why would we sleep tonight? Why wouldn't we try and make
Well,
progress tonight before we start?
I'm
Before we get there.
pretty frail, so it took me about a day to get where I'm at. You probably seasoned. You may be able to get there in half a day. You look, and she kind of eyeballs you up and down. Look kind of fit, and definitely looks at Zazik when she says the word fit.
I'm more than just my physique, okay? I got brains too.
Eh.
You don't count.
But I mean, there's 5 floors, and on the very top is where they plan on doing this ritual.
How many prisoners and how many people in the cult do they have?
No prisoners. They were all people that willingly went here because they want to bring out the Lord. And I found out that the Lord demon that they wanted to bring out, that they have to kill everybody in this cult to get it out. And I'm not willing to sacrifice myself for that.
So they're all willing sacrifices.
How many does that make total then?
There's going to be 10 people that I'm guessing the high priest will die too, but I don't know.
They usually don't. They're usually picking other people. That's what it said in all of the Zazik stories that I stole anyway.
If we just sniped the high priest with that and then smashed the thing, would all the other people be like, yeah, we can go home now?
They were pretty fanatic about wanting to do this, so they might fight you on it. I don't know if he's got some spell that's keeping people there. Maybe he's got some charms, but climbing these stairs, you might not have too much trouble because, like I said, they'll probably be all during the ritual.
Do we have any details about the cult specifically, like who they worship?
They just say the the Lord Demon.
Okay. Would I have read anything about that in my studies?
You've read things about high demons, and there's like a hierarchy of demons and stuff, but nothing that rings a bell with this demon at all. I mean, the first floor is kind of just a waiting room, but the mirrors. Going up the first floor, there's these mirrors. They're called the mirrors of memory, and as you walk by, you see memories of your life. And it was kind of like a ritual to see, our memories as we walked up to going to be in the cult. And it was kind of like a rite of passage. So don't be shocked if you walk by this mirror and you don't see yourself, but you see the memories of your life.
And what if we just smash them all as we go past?
You probably couldn't. From what I understand, the Demon Lord put those there before he was imprisoned. You can try. I tried and it didn't work, but she kind of holds up an arm and she's like, real thin arm and everything.
Like a twig.
Very much like a twig. The floor after that is pretty much a kitchen. And then we have a sleeping room and then like a worship room. But the last floor is where they plan on doing this ritual.
Is there any reason not to burn the whole thing down?
You probably couldn't burn it down. It's a really sturdy stone tower.
But if there's a bedroom, bedrooms have lots of flammable things in them.
You can try that.
Always fire with you. Well, you can't really cast spells and hold charms on people if I shoot them in the face with. So maybe that'll work.
You look like you're capable enough. I mean, she kind of eyeballs your weapons.
I'm a pretty good shot.
I mean, the angel leader of your party probably knows more than anything else. She kind of looks at Brill.
Well, I'm not in charge. Oh, definitely. No.
Well, you're an angel going to attack a demon, right? She looks over at Fern. See, even Fern agrees.
It makes perfect sense to me.
The logic is tracking.
Yeah.
I,
Kid,
I'm sure I've read something about angels and demons fighting, so I mean, why not?
Yeah.
I'm just not one of.
But
Okay. Yep. I'm one of those angels.
mm-hmm.
Hmm.
She's like, I hope you can,
Absolutely.
because I have a sister that's up there and she wouldn't leave, and I'm afraid she's going to die.
She's probably gonna die.
You see her face just get really shocked, and you can see like tears starting to stream down her face now.
You just told us that we were probably gonna have to kill everybody. That we couldn't just kill the high priest and everybody else would be ready to go free. You just told us that. So now why are you all surprised?
It's like, well, I was hoping. You can see just tears just going down her face now. Please, if you can help her.
You can see Zazik kind of panicking a little bit because they don't know how to handle emotions very well from other people. One of you do something.
You can see Joseph.
Sarah, what's your favorite smell?
Name's Heather.
She kind of looks at you like,
What smell makes you happy?
she got snot running down her face. She's like, roses. She kind of like walks off and just like kind of like got snot and wiping it off on her shirt.
I'm gonna touch the top that I gave her, the little toy, and make it smell like roses.
Oh,
when it's
Sarah's
good.
not here. This is Heather that's crying.
Oh, Heather, God damn it! I'm sorry.
It's fine.
That's what I tell
yeah,
you.
no.
It's okay.
Yeah, Heather, your favorite smell, roses? Okay, I'm gonna find something nearby and cast prestidigitation and make it smell like roses. That's to try and calm her down.
Okay. You like find you've got a scrap of cloth that you can have inside, you know, like a handkerchief type thing. No big deal.
Yeah.
And she like puts it against her face and goes, and you can hear snorting and stuff, and she kind of wipes her nose with it too. She kind of still got that quivering lip. If you can please. I would appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, whatever. You're good hands.
And she like blows her nose in your handkerchief really bad and wipes the snot off of her face. And she kind of like, hey, are you sure?
Please, I've got plenty, and I pull out another scrap that looks like it could be a handkerchief, and then immediately shove it back in my pocket.
She goes, but tomorrow night is when it's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll get there before then.
Such a courageous angel. I know that you can battle this demon and do wonders with this. You will be amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome, and I'll give her just kind of like a pat on the shoulder and got something for this. Does she look? Oh God, I don't have restoration yet. Never mind. I thought I had lesser restoration.
I mean, you can tell that she's definitely trying to mend herself, but she's got, malnourishment and bad teeth and all that good stuff.
Yeah. I'll at least cast mending on her clothes
Okay.
to try and just kind of clean her up a little bit.
Okay. She's like, oh, you can cast
Save it the
spells?
trouble.
You are an angel. And she like gets down on her feet and kind of kisses your foot.
Thanks. Yeah.
I can't hold it in. I am just going.
Thank you.
And I have to like hide out by the door and get behind everybody and just sort of like.
My savior angel.
On that note, gotta go do some saving. Bye. And I'm going to extricate myself.
Joseph's like, is there anything else you need to ask Heather?
What's your sister's name?
Jennifer. Any other questions?
What
did you have for
snorting?
What did you have for dinner today?
She points over this bowl, and it was like just like soup and bread. Pretty much it's been finished, but you can see some breadcrumbs and a brothy soup. Had a few vegetables in it and such.
Did you have any protein in that?
What's protein?
Meat.
There was a little bit of chicken.
Okay.
You're kind. Are you like her like servant? And she points over to Brill.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all serve the angel.
Zazik is just gonna sigh a little bit.
And from behind Zazik, all you hear is he's almost coughing to try and hide it.
I use prestidigitation to make him smell like farts.
All of a sudden, you're like walk away, and she goes like she takes her handkerchief and goes like this, and Joseph's like, "What the heck?"
And I just continue on away.
All right. Y'all walk back. Joseph will let you stay in his house. Sarah is already asleep. There is no mother, by the way. You've not seen any mother in this. But she's already asleep in her bed. It is getting kind of late. Is there anything you would like to do before we time fast forward to morning?
Just on the walk back to Joseph's house, her and I will keep like going over to Brill and go, so do we call you like your holiness now? Or like your worship? Or just like, oh, holy one?
Brill, as soon as he says that, you hear this little voice inside your head going, make him trip into a mud pile.
Also, if anyone ever says, "Are you an angel?" the answer is always yes. Always.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I'm just gonna stick a foot out. The moment we come up to a mud pile, I'm just gonna stick a foot out and see if he trips.
Dexterity saving throw. Just make that easy.
Nope.
You stick a foot out, and all of a sudden he hops over it, and go ahead, you can go with this.
It's like, I'm like, oh, sorry, was that for you? And I'm sorry, your worship, I didn't see it. And then I'm just gonna sort of keep going.
You're this voice in your head behind you. Try next time. You get back to his house and you bed down. If there's anything you would like to do, please let me know. If not, we will fast forward to morning. All right. Morning.
Do we want to set a watch? Is there any concern about? Habitually, I would like to set a watch,
Yeah,
but certain people have already fallen asleep because they're assholes and don't care about the party's safety.
We're fine. It's a nice house.
Zazik would feel comfortable inside the house.
Grilled
would be
would
too
help
concerned
keep
about it.
watch.
Yeah, I would at least kind of through the early part of the night, kind of. Is everybody asleep yet? Are they all asleep? Is the door locked? Is the door still locked? Is everybody asleep? Is the door still locked?
All right, I'm going to sleight of hand put Randaya's hands, one in cold, one in warm water to make him pee the bed. That's 3. He totally notices.
You feel this hand get dipped into water as soon as immediately as you feel asleep. You feel this. One of your hands go, and it just splashes into the water.
I'm gonna try and just sort of flip the bowl up to see if I can just splash it out at Rind.
Red, you see this water come flying at you.
Sexy.
Yep.
That's it.
The water goes straight into your face. And you hear this voice in the back of your head. Real, you hear the same voice is like, I thought you worshipped me. You're supposed to be trickster.
I'm still learning, okay?
It's like, it's okay, my child. We'll get there. You've noticed every once in a while, you see Brill talk out to somebody that you do not hear.
That scans.
You're supposed to be talking to another angel.
Morning comes, and it's very, very early morning. You hear a knock on your door.
Is the door still locked?
It is still locked.
Okay.
You gonna answer it?
I'm
Yes.
gonna go up to the door and answer it.
I'm not gonna answer the door.
The big is gonna answer the door, okay?
Yeah. And I'm like there with the bow, like I'm ready.
Okay. You answer it, and it's Joseph. He's like, I've got breakfast ready. Would you like to eat before you leave?
Brill just flings the door open and goes straight for the food.
Okay. It's a
I would take that as a yes.
it's a bunch of salted pork, some eggs, some fruit, pretty decent little spread, but not a lot of food.
Must have eaten in a while. Let me have this.
Also, you see Sarah coming out, and she's like, she's holding like your poem that you have. She's still got in her hand, and of course, your top is of course gone because of participation is gone. But she's like, friends, and she kind of hops over, boom, 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 and bounces over, and sits right next to Zazik and goes and leans in. Are y'all gonna get this taken care of so you can come back and play with me? Please, 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 please take care of this so we can play.
If we don't die.
We'll do our best.
She kind of looks at him as you're like, holy shit. You got this face. You're not gonna die, are you?
We're going to do our best not to.
You could take care of it. And she like pats you on your thigh. You're strong. You take care of this. And she's like, she's got, she takes and she opens up her hand and she's got the note wrapped around the dragon skull. You eat. If you have any other questions, please let me know.
Does it look like it's all the food that Joseph has, or does it look like he's probably okay for food?
Oh, he's okay for food.
Okay. I will still eat relatively sparingly.
Okay. If
Yeah, I'll do the same, and I'm gonna like take one chunk of the salted pork and like put it in a pocket
okay.
because I can.
I will slide what I don't eat over to Zazik.
I'm gonna just snack on things.
All right.
Our big needs more food than us.
God, she's a growing woman, and she kind of pats as you say that. She pats. She's strong, and she does like this. Rat skull, dragon rat skull in one hand, and your poem in the other. She kind of does like this. And she's gonna play with me when you get back, and we're gonna go play dragons.
I could probably help you fly.
Well, you gotta take care of this first. Please be careful. Please be careful. Be careful, please.
We will. We will.
Mm-hmm.
You have strong woman and an angel on your side. You will. Pretty much after that, Sarah hugs each one of you as you leave.
As Sarah hugs me, goes, maybe when we get back, you can get her to show you her angel. And I say that really, really, really in Sarah's ear. And then I go.
Okay. And she like hugs each one of y'all really, really tight. Joseph kind of, meets you at the door, and it's like, please get back carefully. Please let us know how things are going.
I'm going to very carefully wrap my arms around her to not squish her entirely.
She's like, when you get back, we can play, but be careful. Joseph's like, if I don't hear from you in like 3 days, we will probably send someone to come and find you.
If you don't hear from us in 3 days, the demon got summoned.
I'm hoping that's not what happened.
You'll hear from something within 3 days, whether it's us or a demon.
Joseph goes over and kind of looks at you, Brill, and goes, is she always this pessimistic?
Oh, always. Absolutely.
You get used to it after a while. I've only spent the last 20 years with it.
It's not pessimism, it's realism.
Please come back safe. You start to walk off, and you notice there is a river that leads up north, but it is a very winding river. You can either follow this river or, trudge north where, he had directed you to. It's a little northeast, but the river will lead you to it.
As we're walking, I'll take point, stay ahead maybe like 50 feet or so, and stealth ahead.
Okay. Pretty much there's not much happening on this trip. There, you've got your normal bird noises, animal noises, but for the most part, it's just, average woods. I do need, if you can give me a nature roll since you're leading.
Nature or survival?
You can do survival, whichever one you want. Neither.
Yeah. That's a 10.
You
dab average.
Yeah, you're like, you think you're pretty much going the right direction. You've kind of veered off. You're like, oh, the river's going here. Not much, but you pretty much get there. It takes you a good portion of the day to get there, and it's probably roughly maybe about 3-ish, 4-ish, coming to about mid-afternoon when you get there. You actually see the tower. Probably about 4 hours.
Okay, cool.
You actually eventually see the tower in the distance before you get to here. It is up on a hill. and then it kind of levels out to the plateau. And it's actually this pretty large gated garden around it. You notice that the gated garden doesn't look like run down. It looks like it hasn't been kept up in like a few months, but it's not bad. The gates are pretty much wide open. It's got a hedge maze, but the maze is only probably about like 3 feet tall. So it's not, something you can't see or get over, but you can definitely tell that it hasn't been upkept.
Zazik can see over it.
Very much so. Yes.
Some of the rest of us.
Correct.
I'm gonna peek over, see what I can see.
You can see how to get through this maze quite easily. And you can see that the tower's there, and the tower is quite large. And there's just a large door in the front of it. You don't hear anything. Nothing's going on. Just looks like somebody hasn't upkept this in a couple of months.
All right, I can get us to the other side. Do you want to hop on, or do you want to walk?
I'm gonna walk. As long as I can. As long as you can see where we're going and get us there. I would rather be free to not be perceived. And I hold on to my bow.
All right, I'm gonna lead the way then.
Okay.
I'm the same. Bow out in full ranger stalking mode.
As soon as you step into the garden, you hear this kind of chittering screeching, and all of a sudden you see 5 little winged demons come from underneath the hedges and fly up in the air at you.
I'm shooting one.
Give me a history. Everybody can give me a history check on this.
It's gonna be great.
I know nothing.
Oh wow! Even my
That's
-1 and 18.
I got a 10.
Zazik and Rendaya, you've seen these. You've probably either seen these before or read about them in some way or form or fashion. These are winged kobolds.
Holy, shooting one of these fuckers.
You do have 1 round before they can get to you, and then we will roll initiative.
Yeah, I'm does this sound like what Heather described to us?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, then I'm totally shooting one.
Okay, just go ahead and shoot. You don't have to worry about it. If anybody else wants to do any type of range, more than welcome.
18 on my bow.
A 9
am-
probably doesn't hit.
I'm gonna throw a dagger.
Okay.
A cast Record Flame.
Rendai, you did hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
5 points of damage.
Okay, you hit it, and it actually falls back and lands. You knocked it out of the air. Zazik, you think it flies by. And of course, Fern, your arrow shoots by. Nerd, what were you going to do? I'm sorry.
I'm going to cast Sacred Flame, so they need to make a DC 13 dex save.
Okay. Give me a second. Do not make it. Is there anything for a critical failure?
No, but they only take 1 point of radiant.
Okay. Do you hit the one that he hit, or do you hit a different one?
The one that he hit.
Okay. All right. Everybody, please now
and
roll.
They gain no benefit from half or 3/4 cover
Okay.
from the. It says for that save. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, everybody, please roll initiative.
Dirty 20.
6.
11.
6.
What is your dex? I assume higher than a 13.
Dex is 16.
So you go first.
Okay.
Well, you go before me.
Yeah.
Yee.
All right. So then it's Zazik, then Brild.
Yeah.
Rendai, you have first. There are 5 kobolds there. They are coming at you. One of them is down on the ground. The other 4 are still in the air. They're kind of screeching, and they're coming at you, clawing. And
I'm just gonna step back and shoot one of them. One of the ones.
you broke out. Which one are you shooting?
Just one of the ones in the air.
Okay, you hit.
Cool. That's 7 damage.
He falls down to the ground. He is still alive, though, but is down on the ground. Fern, you are next.
Okay, I'm going to shoot one of the ones that's in the air.
Okay.
Hopefully. Nope.
The arrow goes flying past. The kobolds, the 2 on the ground, are hobbling their way up, won't be able to get you, but the 3 that are flying come down. One of them is going to go for you, Rand, as it tries to claw you. Randaya. Does a 14 hit?
It does not.
Okay, kind of claws and go. You feel it kind of like scrape across your leathers and definitely protects you.
That's gonna take forever to buff out.
Fern, one of them flies towards you and does a nope. A 3 does not hit. I can tell you that right now.
No, it does not.
It kind of
I mean,
like
it just barely misses. It's fine. You'll do better next time, buddy.
And Brill, one of them comes diving towards you and just got his claws coming at you. And does a 17 hit?
Who?
Brilled.
You. Oh. Yes. Just.
You feel these claws kind of roll across you, and you take 2 points of damage.
Ow.
Zazik, you are next.
Zazik is going to take a deep breath, kind of find their center a little bit, and then they are going to ball their fist up and lay a smackdown on the first one that got knocked out of the air.
Okay, so you're gonna go to the ones that's on the ground.
Yeah,
You can pretty much step over stuff, so it's not a big deal. You hit.
I'd say that definitely hits.
Yeah. You hit, and y'all see this. It's going to explode. So if you would like to describe your death on this one, you can.
Yeah. So as I go to smash him in the face, I find my center and just all full force in the ground and just obliterates.
Yeah, you totally eviscerate this. Y'all see this as Zazik smashes one into oblivion.
That's our big.
Brill, you are next.
All right. I'm gonna swing my mace at it.
Okay. One on the ground, or just the one that's straight on you?
The one that's on the ground, so I would have advantage.
Yep. So go ahead.
Prone. That's still an 8.
Ah! You're like, ah! You're getting frustrated. Your angel powers aren't working right now.
Pray harder.
Holy.
Randai, you have one in front of you.
Swear to Loki if I don't hit this thing.
Remember, give me some good narrative and I can give you bonuses.
So I'm gonna. He's right in front of me, so I'm gonna, in one motion, put the bow in the little brace on my back and come back. So I have it. It's technically a scimitar, but it's really more just a long short sword with a little. I'm just gonna take a swipe at him.
All right.
Does a 17 hit?
It does hit.
Sweet. For 6 damage.
Okay. He kind of reels
Swish,
back
swish,
a little
swish.
bit. He's like, ah! And gets a little angrier. Fern, we have all of them are down on the ground. One of them is still getting up because it got shot down, but the other 3 are within striking distance.
Is there one that I have advantage on because of how we're situated as a group? Or
Yes.
is there a way I can move to get advantage on one?
Yes, 100%. You can get advantage on the one that is on either Brild or Rendai, because you'll be flanking.
Yeah, so we'll go for the one that poked our cleric.
Okay.
And I'm going to kind of, since we're all in melee, I'm gonna go for the short sword.
Okay.
And just in a quick movement, just switch out bow for short sword, and that's a 19.
Yeah, that'll hit. Okay. You carve a big slash across its back, and
just a slash up, and let's do some sneak attack damage there too, since I got advantage. That would be 6 sneak attack damage.
Plus the 6 from a normal sword, correct?
Yeah, so it was...
You got it.
7 from the normal sword and 6 from the sneak attack. And it's just a, swap from bow to short sword that kind of seems kind of awkward, but comes around and just slashes across as I'm swapping.
You kill it. If you want to give a good gory detail of what you did, bathe in its blood, more than welcome.
I wasn't thinking I was gonna get a good hit on it, and it just ends up being all the way through it. And there's that moment before the top half slides off.
Brill, you see this as the wing kobold on you just kind of looks at you, eyes get really bright, and kind of just like this, and all of a sudden you see the top half go, and blood kind of splatters all over you. And you see Fern kind of like a little grimace with a lot of blood dripping off of their sword.
I got you.
Red, you've got the one on you. It reaches up to try to grab you and go for a bite. It's like 15. Does that hit?
Oh, on me, yes, it does.
Yes.
That's my AC.
Okay. You take a whopping 6 damage.
Ouch. That's not great.
Not at that level. We're all going to die down here.
The one that was prone that you shot out of the air is now running towards y'all. And then Brill, the one that's you've died, the other one that goes over, that is standing there, reaches over and he's like, ah, and kind of looks at you for a minute, kind of looks at Fern, and then goes after you, because Fern is like, looks at Fern and is like, nope, not going to test that one out. You could tell that there was like a little bit of fear in his eyes. He looked at Fern. And kind of swipes at you and just grazes your armor. Zazik.
So Zazik is going to stand up from their crouching position after they've smashed the kobold in, and then they're going to roundhouse kick the one that was going after Rendaya.
Okay. The one that he knocked out of the air and was moving towards him.
Yep.
You reach up and he just kind of and leaps out of the way.
Gotta
Brill?
make my scent better.
I'm gonna try and mace this in the face. Is he up or prone?
He's
The
up.
one that's attacking.
He's up.
Okay, so no advantage. All right, let's go for an uppercut. It's a 7. Loki, why do you fail me? I'm just trying to be bad.
You hear this voice goes, try harder. Red, you're up. There are 3 kobolds. 2 are injured. 1 is not. And they are
on me.
pretty much all around you, and you could go to any one of them if you needed to.
The one that just hurt me that I hit already.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and finish him off
Okay.
with my just flourishing, little overdone. An 18.
You hit. Damn, you're on a roll.
Ba-dum-dum.
You do kill it.
6. All right. So what I do is I get the scimitar, slice its arm, and I'm like, and slice off a wing. Freaking slice a wing. 8 kobolds, and just sling them off my blade.
Okay.
Stupid kobolds.
Brill's not here, but when you fling your sword, the blood just goes splattering across Brill. and just like leaves this long blood splatter across her face. Fern, you are up. There is a cobalt on Brild and a cobalt on Zazik.
I can get flanking on the one on Brild.
You can get flanking on
Again?
both of them if you want.
Which one is least injured?
The one on Zazik. Brild, as you come back, you see
I've
that.
been splattered.
Yes. Okay. Want to make sure that you heard that.
Yes, I had my headphones so I could hear everything.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So I'll go for the lesser injured one.
That's the one that's on Zazik.
Yep. Once again, well, short sword. That is dirty 20.
Yep. Hits.
Okay. And it rolled the sneak attack damage too, so that would be 15 damage.
You go for it. You wipe it off.
It's just this time I've got the short sword already in hand, and it's just a chakunk up the back and out the shoulder.
Zazik, you get some blood spatter across you as you see this sword poke out and go straight up and go out the shoulder. And then you see Fern's. Yeah. And you see Fern standing right there.
Good job.
And then just like sword out.
Love it.
Strike a pose. Zazik, you are there. There is one left, and it is right next to Brild.
I'm gonna smash it with my fist.
Okay. That hits.
All right. For 4 damage.
That actually kills it.
All right. So I'm gonna like smash it in its face, and an eyeball's gonna pop out.
Brild. Does
Yes.
this gore you out? There's these eyeballs come splashing out of its head towards you.
Let's find out.
You're just like, and then blood splatters across you as this eyeball falls down.
I just kind of like, and then like kind of scoot away from all the gore.
You notice that. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it doesn't necessarily like just squig me out. It's just I'm dirty now.
Yes.
No.
You sit there, and there are 4 dead kobolds. They have no markings on them. They're not wearing any clothes. They are just straight up nude.
Oh, even worse, naked kobolds. I'm just gonna go around and just stab, make sure they're all dead.
They're dead, naked kobolds. It'll be fine.
I don't really have a problem with naked kobolds.
Naked and not alive is fine.
They're stupid.
Can I like wipe off the blood on the bushes and on just before I
Yeah.
put my sword away?
Yeah, you clean it off real quick.
Yeah.
The tower.
Can I clean mine off on the back of Brod's cloak without her noticing?
I use Zazik's pant leg and wipe my face.
Shit. You can clean yourself.
Brill, you're like wiping up and everything on Zazik.
I went, oh yeah, and then I cast it on both of us to clean it up.
You like wipe your blade off on her cloak, and all of a sudden, her cloak goes clean.
I appreciate that.
I got you, fam.
And the tower is standing there. It is getting a little bit dark. You can see the sun is setting.
We definitely need to keep moving
Yep.
if we're gonna make it in time.
Is there anybody that can't see in the dark?
Oh, I definitely can't. I don't have.
All
Friends
right,
don't get that.
I will cast the light on Randaya on your bow.
Okay. Oop, I didn't add anything. Okay. Forgot to put in any sort of med kit or anything.
Yee. Does anybody need healing?
Randaya.
Everybody looks at Randaya.
Smear get on his face. You can see it cut here. His leg is covered in bashed bruises and blood. Yeah, it's, Don't go to any trouble.
All right, you get 4 hit points back.
Hooray! He's still got the one cut above his head. Cool.
It's not gushing anymore.
No.
You're not worth a spell right now. We got to do this.
Thanks.
Tower is sitting there. There is a large wooden door.
How far around, like, is the tower?
You estimated, Guff, roughly probably about 40 feet from side to side.
And how tall?
It is at least 5 stories high, and you estimate that each floor is roughly about 8 feet tall, give or take.
So I'm going
Is
to be
there-
hunched.
Do there appear to be any windows on the upper level?
No. There's actually no windows and no arrow slits on the whole thing. It is completely stoned up.
Why does the tower get to be stoned?
Oh, I can help with that later. I got this pouch. It'll be fine. Just chew on a couple of these leaves. You'll be fine.
So do we just want to open the door, or do you?
No.
Stuff.
Hold on. And I'm gonna sneak up, and I'm gonna check out the door to see, because I used to put all these little traps for Zazik on. I'll just make sure they didn't do the same.
All right. Go ahead. You really don't see anything. You can definitely tell that it is locked, though.
All right.
We have a lockpick, and I look at Zazik.
He pulls out his thieves' tools. I got some too.
Yeah, me too. But it's
I got
more
one
fun.
too, and I raise my mace.
When finesse doesn't work, we have blunt force.
Why would we lockpick? Why would we
I jump
lockpick?
up to give. I jump up to give Zazik a high five, but it's a low five for them.
Kind of like reach down like that.
Oh, fine. Go ahead, Fern. You can try it this time. You need to
Okay.
practice.
Fuck off.
Go on, Rose.
I'll get out my own thieves' tools.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be sleight of hand. Is that what
Yes.
we're going to roll for that? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be a 17.
You unlock it, no problem. You hear the click, click,
Mm-mm.
and the door gradually
And
opens.
I turn to Rendaya and
Not bad.
And the door slightly comes open.
Gonna like pull it open with my finger.
You do that, and you can actually see there's like a few lit torches in here. And what you can see is there, of course, is a circular stairway going up. But there's like a few chairs and this couple of end tables. And then you see this large floor to ceiling mirror go up the stairs.
We're in the right place. Time to head up. As I'm like kind of hunched over because
Yes.
I can't fully fit.
You have to hunch over, and you walk in, and where do you go?
I'm gonna go up the stairs.
As soon as you hit the mirror, it kind of shimmers, and all of a sudden you see your life as a child playing. And as soon as you keep walking up the stairs, you see your life progressing up to almost a few months ago. Who is next?
I'll follow Zazik. Does it start before we were at the orphanage?
No, it starts pretty much like maybe when you're like 5 or 6, give or take.
So it doesn't show our whole life.
No.
I don't like this.
I kind of look at the mirror like, you're just full of bullshit, aren't you? If you can't show my whole life.
Who's next?
How much
I would-
detail is showing on this? Like, is it just like highlights?
Yeah, kind of like highlights, like just things that happened in your life. Nothing like it's not showing like you pooping or peeing or anything, but like, oh, you set your first trap or you got your first kill, that type of thing. Kind of like that. You know, there's also like there's a couple of things on there where Amita, you see her and she hugs you, you know, that type of thing, but not detailed highlights of your life.
And I'm going to pull my hood up and over, so I try to block the view as much as I can. Stairs. I don't want to look at this. I don't and potentially see.
You're cutting out there, Slade.
Yeah.
Damn it. I'm just going to walk up and try and not look because I don't. Maybe that I did in the be in my memory, and when I'm just going to.
I think it's Discord.
It might be Discord.
Yeah.
Am I losing connection?
Yeah, you're cutting out a lot.
Yeah, maybe a pop filter is maybe too loud.
It's turned off. It's turned off, actually.
I don't know.
Yeah, Discord's been weird for me lately.
That's okay.
So,
You're just trying to hide
but
what
yeah.
you're seeing.
and hope that it doesn't show those things that I do when I'm back.
All right. Brilled.
Rild is probably gonna get just sucked into the mirror for a moment.
You definitely see your life, and we'll just say you're the last one.
It's been the short.
Yes. You finally realize it. But as you all five are now in the mirror, you see a picture of all five of you standing like y'all are kind of posing in a third person view. And there's you start counting 5. And the other figure is kind of shaded out as like a heat wave. You can see a body that is roughly about human size that is with you, but it's kind of faded out like you would look as a heat wave or a shimmer. And you see Amita standing there with you, but there's 5 other people there. You see you 4, and then another humanoid person that is not showing up, but is kind of hazed out.
Loki?
Who had the
I hold up a
imaginary
hand.
friends?
I hold up a hand so Brild can count.
Five.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There
And then I'm gonna point.
2, but there's only 3 of us.
Exactly.
And Zazik holds up 4 fingers for you and go,
Try again.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. There you go.
But there's only 3 of us.
You know,
3 shorts and a big.
Oh, 4. I wasn't counting me.
well, let's table this for now. We've got to try and not die and try and not kill Jennifer.
Is the other figure in the mirror moving or are they stationary?
they're moving like normal with you. I mean, like y'all kind of like joke around and everything in the picture and kind of like, you're just, doing everything, but their figure is wavy and you can't tell who or what it is.
Okay. But it's moving with us as we go up the stairs.
Yes.
Okay.
There is no history behind it, but it is definitely part of your history.
Let's put a pin in this and try not to blow the place up, and we can come back.
Yeah, we can come back and learn more about Fluffy. I just decided that its name is Fluffy.
That's who Brild talks to all the time.
Fluffy.
No,
Perfect sense.
No.
Mhm,
Makes perfect
mhm.
sense. Yep. That's
Perfect
my
sense.
canon.
I talk to people?
Sometimes.
You make yourself up to the next chamber, and it is the kitchen, and there is nobody in here. You're not hearing anything right now. No noise,
Okay.
no nothing.
Is it a stocked kitchen?
It is a stocked kitchen.
I'm raiding the pantry.
You immediately see Brill run over and fling open the cupboard and starts.
I'm looking for chocolate and sweets.
You act like you haven't eaten a day in your life. We were very well taken care of.
Give me a perception roll, and I'll see if you can find some chocolate or sweets of any sorts.
It's an 8.
you're like just where? You don't see anything.
Okay. Yeah. Loki, you're supposed to help me with this sort of thing. Come on.
I'm gonna look over.
Oh, and don't you dare tell me to try harder.
I'm gonna look over to where Brild is, and then look on the top cabinets and see if I can find anything.
Go ahead and roll a perception roll. You find this jar of like chocolate sticks.
I'm gonna grab it, pull it down, hand it to Brild. You're welcome.
I will hug Zazek's leg.
All you have to do is ask for help. We're here to help you.
Guys, I don't mean to ruin the chocolate moment, but we have to go kill a guy, remember?
Yes, we do.
Can't hear you.
Not on an empty stomach as I take a bite of the chocolate.
Eat and walk. Let's go.
I just look over to Fern. So much for quiet.
You go up to the next.
Crunch.
Yeah.
I'm already at disadvantage. Oh no, I'm in a chain shirt, so I don't have disadvantage. Aha.
You start making it up. You go to the next chamber, and this is pretty much the sleeping chamber, but it's like very thin straw and like cloth, and it's a moldy.
Straw is still flammable.
But you can definitely get a musty smell as you walk in here.
Gross.
I'm gonna make it smell like roses. Now it smells like roses and mold.
Roses and mold.
Roses and mold. Roses and mold. As we're climbing, can I hear anything coming from up above? Noises? And so far, no signs of people.
None. You gonna keep going up?
Yep.
Oh.
You get up to the next floor, and you can tell this is like probably a worship area. There's like some pews and like a small little altar for someone to stand behind, type thing. But there's nothing in here, but something doesn't feel right. You get this uneasy feeling and like a vibration on your skin. Like little pinpricks all over your skin. Kind of like when you sit on your hand and it's asleep, but it's very slight.
I have my bow out and an arrow knocked, like in hunting position.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody give me a perception roll, please.
Ugh,
Good old 10.
this is creeping me out.
15.
Fern, you hear some noise coming above you, and you can hear chanting. Very low, but you can hear chanting.
Mm-hmm. I'll do the quiet sign, and then point up at the ceiling, and then make like a talking hand.
There's chomping cats. Okay, got it.
Do y'all go up?
Quietly, yes.
The
I am
further...
full stealth mode.
Off stepping as much as possible.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As y'all are creeping up the stairs, the further you go up the stairs, the more the intense tingling feels on your skin. And it's now getting like sharper pinpricks on you. And you can definitely tell that something is not right in the next floor. And when you can actually start hearing the murmur and the chanting as you get up closer.
My intent is, and I'm not in the lead, but my intent is if I see like what looks like a high priest, I'm putting an arrow in his forehead.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. How wide is the stairway? Is it like
just enough for one person?
okay? Even if it's two people who are small.
You possibly could, but you didn't. You definitely don't want to fight on this.
Yeah. So I think Fern would stop everybody and like kind of make quiet shuffling to put the right people in the right place.
All right.
I don't know if we send Zazik up first or if like the stealth goes up first to kind of get a peek at it.
I would say put a stealthy up first, then Zazik.
Okay. So given that Rundaya still has got the cut over their eye, Fern would
I'm fine.
Fern would kind of go ahead and just kind of carefully peek over the stairs and see what it looks like in the room.
You can't see if there's a door blocking that path.
Fucking doors.
Well, it's going to take an hour to get past this.
And you actually get up to the door, and your skin is extremely tingly right now.
Yeah. I'm fighting it. Is the door locked?
You cannot tell that it's locked. It does not look like it.
Your halfling senses are tingling.
My halfling senses are tingling.
The hair on my feet is standing on end.
My desire to do a murder is tingling. So I'm going to look at Zazik, and I will point at myself and point at the door, and then open the door, and then point for Zazik to charge.
Before Zazik goes in, I'm going to cast Protection from Evil and Good.
Okay.
All right. I'm body slamming the door.
You smash in, and as soon as you start smashing in, everybody in the door opens. You feel this wave of like intense tingle, not pain, but you can feel the vibration on your skin, and you can feel it just like you've eaten too much caffeine or drank too much caffeine, and you're just buzzing. As you come in, and everybody can start to see this as Zazik comes barreling in, you see 10 bodies on the ground. You see a high priest, what you assume, with an orb in front of his face, just doing this, and you see tendrils coming off of this orb into all of these bodies. And they're like lifting up from their back, and you can see like it's pulling and sucking souls out of them, or sucking something, and they're like reached up, and they're like twitching, and the priest is like, speaking some gibberish that you don't know as this orb.
I'm shooting Kalima there, right?
The orb is covering up his face.
I'll shoot him in the chest there, whatever. I'm going to shoot the priest.
Okay. You go to shoot the priest. Is anybody else going to do anything? Do we need to roll initiative to see?
I want to shoot the orb.
Okay. All right. Since I would say Fern was actually first, Fern can go ahead and shoot. Y'all are actually all in here. When she busted in, y'all all went in, so.
I got a 16 to shoot the orb.
Okay. You come in and everybody's standing there and you see all this and your body's tingling. You shoot the orb and the arrow, you do hit. Please roll damage.
Okay.
You hit it.
That'd just be 5
Yeah.
because it's not sneak attack.
No problem. You hit the orb and the orb starts to crack. Everybody please make a perception roll for me.
16.
Brild is excited. She's wearing shoes.
14.
All right, everybody that's 14 and higher. So, Brild, I'm sorry. As the orb is hit, you notice as the orb comes down and you see this high priest. First, you think maybe that he's like, oh shit, this is happening. But you see a smirk on his face as the orb shatters into a million pieces. Everybody please make a Constitution saving throw.
Do I get to loose my arrow before that happens?
No.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, I need to write this down.
That was great.
17.
I did not succeed.
18.
We don't know what the DC is, so I'm not going to claim.
All right. You hit the orb, and all of a sudden, you feel this wave of energy reach out. And as it reaches out, then you feel the shockwave, and then you hear this boom, and the entire room goes bright white light, and you are blinded, and you pass into unconsciousness.
Sleepy.
All of a sudden, Brilled, you hear this voice. Mistress, did you get the Red Wizard of Thay? Did you figure out how to do it? Did you figure out how to take out the Red Wizards? Mistress!
Yes.
You sit there and your eyes start to open up. Please give me a perception roll at disadvantage. Well, shit. You can rank your perception rolls. You kind of look down.
What's going on?
You see this winged cobalt standing in front of you as you're sitting at a table. And you see 3 other dragon creatures sitting at the table with you. But you noticed that your skin is scaled green. Mistress, did you get it? The Dark Queen needs to know. The Dark Queen needs to know. Did you find a way to kill the Red Wizards of Thay?
Yeah.
He's like, ah, yes, we will win. As you see 3 other creatures, winged, dragon-like creatures around this big table. And on this table, you see these large maps and things around on there. But your skin is completely covered in scales that are green.
Can I look around me to see if there's a mirror?
No, there is not. This is the same room that you were in, but there are no bodies. There is nothing but this large table and 3 other dragon creatures, but this winged kobold is like, yeah, we're gonna kill the Red Wizard of Thay. The Dark Queen will love it.
I start shaking my head to see if I can shake myself out of this.
Randaya, you start hearing this creepy little voice as you kind of look up and you notice there's this green dragonkin sitting down next to this winged cobalt, and you notice that your skin is white and scaled.
So Rendaya is picked up Goblin while he was in the forest from just meeting with some goblins or something. He is going to go through every single curse that he knows in Goblin. And I'm just going to look around and see what's going on.
You see the kobold is like, Warlord, we will do it. Mistress says,
my bow.
He's like, he's like, Mistress says that we're going to win against the Red Wizard of Thay.
I'm reaching for a weapon, whether it's my bow.
You have a bow, and it's actually very ornate and really cool looking. What are you going to do with it?
I'm gonna go, goddamn kobolds!
Roll with advantage.
I forget how to do that with the alt
Shift.
or shift.
Shift.
Right click.
Fern, you wake
Yeah.
up. You see this arrow streaking through the air, and you look over and you see this cobalt, and all of a sudden you see it hit and explode as this lightning streaks around the arrow and just splatters blood all over this dragonkin and another dragonkin that is sitting there. And you notice that you're black and scaled too.
I'll kind of look at my hand and do a little.
And you see the two other ones. You see a green and a white dragonkin sitting there. And one of them's got a bow and just exploded this cobalt.
Is
And
that
he's just
entirely necessary?
staring at the bow going, holy shit.
You do not recognize each other. You do not know what each other looks like. Your voices kind of sound familiar. And Zazik, you wake up.
Cobalt exploded all over my face.
Oh, all over your entire body. He was sitting right next to you.
So the green dragon kid is just.
Yeah. Zazik, you see the same thing, but you're blue. Dragon skinned.
Well, at least some things don't change.
You look at the table and there's like this giant map of the world. And there's these pieces all over it. And up in the far left-hand corner, there's like this big tower citadel.
Do I recognize any of the landmarks on the map?
Give me a history roll. You kind of realize it, that like one of them, so you remember this one, that possibly the one in the corner is called Waterdeep. There's an area that is listed as Red Wizard of Thay, and there's like this border drawn around kind of this area. And then like you can tell like a good portion of the map is like controlled by y'all.
Like, do we have a name for ourselves?
Oh yeah, the Clutch of the Dragon Queen. And as you notice, at the very top left-hand corner where this citadel is, it says Home of Tiamat.
Well, that's interesting.
In my head, do I know that my name is Fern, or do I have
Yes.
some different name?
No, you know that your names are all the same. You started recognizing that your voices are coming through of your family.
If I think real hard, can I turn back into a halfling?
No.
Okay. It's fine. It's fine.
I look down. Am I wearing any shoes?
No, you've got dragon feet.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God.
You've got dragon clawed feet.
That's not great.
You actually are winged.
Brill lets out a sigh of relief.
They are dragon wings, but not angel wings.
Do the dragon wings
They'll fly.
actually do they work?
Do they function?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
actually function.
I'm gonna kind of like flare my wings out a bit.
You are all roughly the same height now, have you noticed?
Oh my God. You guys got shorter.
You got taller.
I doubt that.
You feel the tower start to shake. And you can hear this big booming voice. What have you done with my children? Brilled, you feel a soul emptiness in your heart right now. And you hear the same voice, but coming from inside of your head. Come back to me, child. Be my priest again. Come back to me.
That's not Loki.
100% not. The tower starts to shake and you can see it vibrating.
I'm grabbing the map.
What does Tiamat mean?
Give me a history with advantage.
Even then, because
No.
my age. 11.
You knew that this was a dragon god of some sort, but you're not sure. Evil dragon god.
Fine.
Do
The
I
tower.
think that what we saw in the mirror that we called Fluffy, do we think that was Tiamat?
No.
Did we perceive that figure in the mirror as friendly?
Yes.
Okay.
Tower is shaking more. You can start to feel it earthquake type style feel.
Is there a
this from
window?
outside?
No windows,
There
no
were
nothing.
windows.
Yeah.
All right. I'm grabbing the map and I'm booking it down the stairs.
Okay.
Mhm.
You get down.
I am right behind her.
Is there anything cool in the room besides the map?
Pretty much just the map. There's some other things hanging, but nothing that it's nothing that's really, crazy or whatever.
Fine. Runs down the stairs.
All right. You get down to the worship chambers, and it's kind of just a bunch of, chairs and such instead. Still vibrating, still earthquake moving. What are you going to do?
Not
Keep
stopping,
going?
Just moving.
All right. Is everybody just going to
wanna-
move?
I want to kick a chair over before I go down the rest of the
Okay. You kick a chair as you're going.
Just like,
Yeah.
this is stupid. Kick the chair. I can still kick a chair. Cool.
If there's a door, I would like to shut it in Zendaya's face. Zendaya.
It's canon now. It's canon now.
I really have changed.
There we go. Okay. Now it's really canon. I put the emote in chat.
You get through the kitchen, and the kitchen is pretty much kind of what you remember the first time, but a little bit more stocked. You get down to the first floor. And the mirror is there. Please give me order of going down. Zazik was first, of course.
Yep.
Followed by
Probably
Brill.
second. Or Brill first, yeah. No
Brill.
problem.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I'll bring up the rear. That's fine.
Briller,
Yeah.
are you second?
Brilled, yeah.
Okay. And
And
then
Zendaya.
Zazik,
You little game.
you come down the stairs, and of course the mirror starts to shimmer like last time. And all of a sudden you see yourself standing on this cliff. And in your hand, you see this small statue of a panther. And all of a sudden you go and crush it, and this magical explosion comes out. And you drop the dust, and you pick up this body of a drow elf, head in one hand, body in the other, and you throw it off the cliff. And you're like, he's dead. Long live the queen. Thrilled. You walk down the step right behind, and all of a sudden, you kind of see something very similar. You hold this staff in your hand, and you snap it, and you've got this old man, gray beard, gray robes. You take him and go, he's dead, and you chunk this body going, Elminster is no more. Randaya, you walk, and all of a sudden, right behind them, you're sitting there, and you're standing on top this severed dragon, gold dragon head. It's got arrows all punctured through it, and you're leaning down on it, and you kind of lick it as you come up and go, Tamarand is gone. The gold dragons are no more.
Bitchin'.
Fern, as you come down, you are standing across this human's head. You've got his head positioned under your foot. You've got this staff that's black, and you've got this man, and he's got this black and gray salt and peppered hair, and you're like, we've taken water deep. Blackstaff is no more. And you stab this sword through his skull. As you all reach it together, you are standing there. There is another shape, and it is a red dragonkin standing with you. And you don't recognize the area, but it is a very populated town, very jam-packed. But there is this giant humongous 5-headed dragon standing behind you. All the heads roaring, all the heads spewing breaths, and y'all are like standing there, and it pans out. And underneath, you see evil creatures of all type chanting, Tiamat, Tiamat, Tiamat. The clutch lives. The tower is still shaking. Do you leave?
GTFO.
ETFO.
You get outside of the tower, and the scene you see is a little bit different than anything else. The woods are burnt down. Everything is completely pulverized. There are burning trees. There are burning bushes. And you feel this presence behind you. And you know that there's something large behind this tower, just looking over you. And you feel it, and you look up, and you see Tiamat standing over there, just roaring heads, going, "Children, come back to me! Children, come back!"
Mama!
As she's and this giant claw comes down on the tower and crushes it, and then she dissipates. Brill, do you hear this little voice in the back of your head? Very, very quiet. Very thing. Child, I've missed you. I love you. Please come back. You are needed. And you recognize the voice of Loki. Everyone, please give me a perception roll at disadvantage.
12.
It'll get there eventually.
9.
It did look like a 1 on the die, so that'd be a 6.
Y'all don't hear this, but all of a sudden you see a large group of people standing around you with bows and swords drawn. They're dressed in like camouflaged armor that looks like nature, but their face is a black mirrored mask. Like no features on it, just like this black mirrored, chrome dome type of attitude, but it's black. And you hear this voice. We have you now. Your reign of terror is over. You see this person push past and goes, it's been 10 years. We finally have you. We will kill every one of you. Everybody make another perception roll, but this time you have advantage. If you score 15 or higher, you see this. So, Brilled only?
No.
Brilled.
On Fern.
It's the dice wasn't rolling, so I gotta
Oh,
give me a second.
no problem. Oh,
21.
Fern and Brilled see this. You see that you're looking at this person that stepped by, does have a female voice, and you see something on their armor. It looks like a little rat dragon skull.
Friend.
She kind of, you see this person step back.
You have Sarah.
all of a sudden you see this mask come flying back, and you see a grown Sarah with scars on her face and the big birthmark. And she's like, it's been 10 years. You destroyed the world. Where have you? Why? No, this cannot be true. I can't handle this. This is not going to happen. And this is where we will pause it, and we will come back to this at the next episode. Thank you all for enjoying our first episode of Rebirth of Souls. We will continue when we can get to play next. I appreciate you listening. Thank you, and listen to the music.